everybody, I'm Sydney. Welcome to C3 Kids Church Online. I'm coming to you from Community Christian Church in White Marsh, Maryland, where we are all about helping people find their way back to God. C3 Kids Online is a place for kindergartners through third graders to learn all about Jesus and how much He loves us. This month, we've been talking about compassion. Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's needs. I know one need that's true for everyone in the world. We all need to eat, and I always feel especially cared for when someone makes me a meal. And speaking of meals, I thought we'd play a game too that has to do with foods you might find at a neighborhood block party. I'll give you a list of ingredients and you will need to figure out what meal those ingredients make, okay? Here we go. Recipe list number 1. This meal has ground beef, tomatoes, and onions. Some people put beans in this meal. And of course, chili powder. What do you think it is? Did you guess chili? If so, well done. Okay, next recipe. Lettuce, tomato slices, ketchup, mustard, buns, and some sort of meat patty. What do you think it is? Did you guess hamburgers? Good job. Okay, next recipe. I'll give you a hint to start off. This one is more of a dessert than a meal. Okay, the recipe list is flour, sugar, butter, vanilla, and chocolate chips. This is one of my favorite desserts. When I see these at a block party, I head straight to the dessert table. Did you guess chocolate chip cookies? Well done, everyone. Now it's time to sing a worship song together. We sing worship songs to help us think about how awesome God is, and also as a way for us to tell Him how much we love Him. Today's song is called Love One Another, so let's stand up and sing this song together.
That's what we'll do. Love one another with a love like no other that we found in you. Love one another, yeah, love one another, that's what we'll do. We're alive to love one another. We're alive with a love like no other. We're alive, we're sisters and brothers. We're alive to love one another.
What a great song. I love singing about God's love for us. You know, our game earlier got me thinking. It made me hungry, but it also got me thinking because it is the perfect way to set up today's Bible story. In today's story, we'll hear about a very special meal that Jesus created for a whole bunch of His followers. Let's check it out.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of John, chapter 6, verses 1 through 13.
Let's set the stage. Jesus had been performing amazing miracles and healing people. Great crowds gathered wherever he went. So, when Jesus needed a little time away, he crossed the Sea of Galilee with his friends. He was probably looking forward to a quiet day on the mountainside, overlooking the lake. But the crowds had followed.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Looks like thousands.
Should we send them all away?
No, I'll talk to them.
Even though he was tired, Jesus welcomed the people. He could see the hunger in their hearts, so he sat down on the mountainside and began to teach them.
I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry.
Through the heat of the day, Jesus kept speaking to the people. As the sun sank lower, though, people started getting restless. See, nobody planned to stay there the whole day, and everybody was getting hungry. Well, Jesus knew how he would provide a meal, but first, he spoke to his friend Philip.
Where can we buy bread for all these people to eat?
Philip's eyes widened as he looked down over the mountainside.
There are thousands of people here. Even buying enough bread for everyone to have one bite would take more than half a year's pay.
Feeding this crowd certainly seemed like an impossible job. Jesus' friends started to check around, trying to see if anyone at all had brought along some food. Now, imagine you are there, on that very same hillside. Early this morning, you heard footsteps and excited voices just outside your home.
They say Jesus is heading for the lakeshore.
Now, you had never seen Jesus, but you had heard a lot about him, so you begged your mom to let you go along, please.
Please, please, please. It's not far.
And she said yes, which is pretty amazing, but she wouldn't let you run out the door unprepared.
Here, I've wrapped up some bread and fish for you.
Thanks, Mom.
So you grabbed the bundle, thanks Mom, and ran out the door, joining the crowd. When you finally reached the lakeshore, the crowd was a little overwhelming. But high up on the mountainside, you could see a man surrounded by a close-knit group of followers. Sometimes it's good to be little, so you make your way little by little uphill through the crowd.
Excuse me?
After a while, you were so close, you could hear Jesus.
Anyone who hears my word and believes him who has sent me has eternal life.
You slid under someone's elbow and found a place to sit on a little rock just a few yards away from Jesus. And all day, you listened. You weren't bored even a bit, because somehow everything Jesus said, it seemed like he was saying it just to you. In fact, you even forgot to eat your lunch.
Oops. Guess I am kind of hungry.
Now you can see other people are getting hungry too. And Jesus has taken a short break to talk with his friends, and then you're sad because Jesus is probably planning to send everybody away to get their own food. But then, a few of his friends start walking through the crowd.
Does anyone have any food? Nothing here, I'm sorry.
Oh, you really want your bread and fish at this point, but as tired and hungry as you are, you know Jesus has been working hard all day. So, you clear your throat, and then you say,
I do.
Great. What do you got?
5 little loaves and 2 fish.
Not much.
I know, but Jesus can have it.
Well, thank you. Come along.
you follow Jesus' friend Andrew right up to Jesus.
Here's a boy with 5 small loaves of barley bread and 2 small fish. It won't go far in such a large crowd.
Jesus turns and looks right at you. He can see you're hungry and that you've chosen to give up your lunch anyway. And then he smiles. It's the best thank you you've ever gotten. He reaches out his hands and you give him your food. Then Jesus turns back to his friends.
Have the people sit down.
Jesus' friends exchanged surprised glances, but then they started gesturing to the crowd.
All right, everyone sit down.
Plenty of room.
Like a slowly rolling wave from front to back, you see all the people sit down. Then, right beside you, Jesus takes your 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish, and he lifts them up to heaven.
Father, thank you for this food you've given us.
Then, Jesus takes the loaves and breaks them. He begins handing them out to his friends and to the people in the first rows on the ground. He does the same with the fish. You even get some of your own bread and fish back.
Ooh, yum.
You look around and you can see Jesus' friends still handing out pieces of fish and bread to the crowd.
But this is way more than what I gave to Jesus.
Soon, it seems like the entire crowd is eating dinner. Your own stomach is already full, and you still have bread and fish left over. As the people around you begin to finish their meals, Jesus calls his friends again.
Gather the leftover pieces. Don't waste anything.
You watch in amazement as Jesus' friends go through the crowd with large baskets, and sure enough, lots of people have extra bread and fish to drop inside. When the men finally return to Jesus, they've collected 12 full baskets of leftover fish and bread.
That's impossible.
But you know it happened, because you saw it, and because you've met Jesus. Nearby, a man exclaims,
This must be the prophet who's supposed to come into the world.
Now, you aren't sure exactly what that means, but you are sure that Jesus deeply cares for every single person on this hillside. And you're sure that he can take your small lunch to meet every single person's need.
I'd love to imagine what it would have been like for the boy in the story. When he showed up to see Jesus, there's no way that he would be part of such a huge, important miracle. But when he offered his bread and fish, Jesus used it to feed thousands of people. You never know what God will do when you use what you have to help others. That's our bottom line this week. Let's say it together. Use what you have to help others. You might not think you have a lot of stuff that you can use to help people, but you've got 2 ears, which means you can listen when someone needs a friend. You've got 2 hands, which means that you can help your mom or dad clean up around the house. And you've got a mouth. That means you can speak kind and encouraging words to make someone's day. Use what you have to help others. Can you think of some cool ways to do that? To help you, we have some resources linked in the description of this video. So check them out and be sure to come back next week for our last week of learning about compassion. See you then!